Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions? Like you're a passenger in your own life, stuck on a train track you didn't choose? You pick a partner, a job, a lifestyle, believing you're making free choices. But what if I told you that most of what we call freedom is just an illusion, a beautifully decorated cage we don't even realize we're in? The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung had a fascinating and somewhat radical idea about this. He believed that we are all influenced by powerful, invisible forces, threads that pull our strings from deep within our own minds and from the collective story of humanity. Today, we're going to explore this idea and, more importantly, find the key Jung offered to unlock true, authentic freedom. It's a journey inward, a quest to become the master of your own destiny, not just a puppet of the past. According to Jung, the first invisible master we must face is the personal unconscious. Think of it as a hidden basement in your mind, storing everything you've ever experienced, felt, or thought, especially the things you've pushed away or forgotten. Every childhood hurt, every suppressed desire, every lesson learned but not consciously remembered, it's all down there. And here's the crucial part. Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Have you ever wondered why you keep dating the same type of person, even when it always ends badly? Or why you feel stuck in a job that drains your soul, unable to leave? That's the personal unconscious at work. It's running old programs, replaying old emotional scripts. The suffering you endure, the patterns you repeat, they often stem from this hidden part of you. It's not fate or bad luck. It's the echo of your own unexamined past dictating your present. The first step toward freedom is simply to acknowledge that this basement exists and to be brave enough to turn on the light and see what's inside. Now, let's zoom out from our personal minds to the world around us. Modern society, with all its promises of choice and opportunity, has built what Jung might call a very sophisticated cage. We're told freedom is having endless options, 1,000 brands of cereal, 1,000,000 shows to stream, countless career paths to pursue. But look closer. This freedom often funnels us into a predictable cycle. Work hard to earn money, spend that money on things we're told will make us happy, and then compare our lives to the perfectly curated images we see on social media. We become like cogs in a giant machine, driven by external pressures, consumerism, and the relentless need for validation. We're busy, we're entertained, but are we free, or are we just distracted? This system offers the illusion of choice while subtly shaping our desires and values. True freedom isn't about choosing between 100 different brands of sneakers. It's about having the clarity to ask, do I even want new sneakers right now? Or is this a desire planted in me by an advertisement I saw 5 minutes ago? It's about breaking free from the hamster wheel of work, consume, repeat, and defining success and happiness on our own terms, not the terms dictated by the society around us. But there's another, even deeper layer of influence, one that connects us all, the collective unconscious. Jung proposed that we are all born with a shared psychic inheritance, a sort of mental blueprint filled with universal patterns and symbols he called archetypes. Think of archetypes as the original roles in the grand play of human existence. The hero, the mother, the wise old man, the trickster, the lover. These primordial patterns are embedded in our myths, our fairy tales, and our religions, and they live within each of us. Without realizing it, we often step into these archetypal roles. We might play the perpetual rescuer, always trying to fix other people's problems while neglecting our own. Or we might be caught in the martyr archetype, constantly sacrificing our own needs for others. These aren't just personality quirks, they are ancient scripts that we unknowingly reenact. We become actors in a play written long before we were born, speaking lines and performing actions that feel like our own but are actually part of a much older story. The problem is, when we are unconscious of these roles, we don't get to choose them. The script chooses us. And that is a profound loss of freedom. Within our personal unconscious, there is one archetype so powerful and so commonly ignored that it deserves special attention. The shadow. The shadow is everything about ourselves that we have rejected, repressed, or denied. It's the parts of you that you deem unacceptable, your anger, your envy, your selfishness, your greed, your secret judgments. Because we want to be seen as good and acceptable, we lock these traits away in our mental basement. But here's the paradox. The more we suppress the shadow, the more power it has over us. An unacknowledged shadow doesn't just disappear, it festers. It projects itself onto others, making us see faults in them that are actually our own. It can hijack our behavior, causing us to have sudden outbursts of rage or act in self-sabotaging ways that we can't explain later. Your shadow can create an inner prison. It's the voice that whispers you're not good enough, the impulse that makes you lash out, the secret shame that holds you back. Confronting the shadow is not about becoming a bad person, it's about becoming a whole person. It's about recognizing that you, like everyone, have a dark side, and that by acknowledging it, you can take away its power to control you from the dark. So, how do we begin to access all this hidden material, the personal unconscious, the archetypes, the shadow? How do we find the key to this inner world? Jung believed we have a direct line, a secret doorway that opens every single night, our dreams. He saw dreams not as random nonsense, but as the pure, uncensored voice of the unconscious. They are like letters from the deepest part of yourself, written in a symbolic language. Your dreams are trying to tell you something. They show you what you're neglecting in your waking life, which parts of yourself you're suppressing, and what unresolved conflicts are bubbling under the surface. A dream about being chased might be your unconscious screaming that you're rerunning from a problem you need to face. A dream of a hidden room in your house could be pointing to an undiscovered talent or a part of your personality you have unexplored. Learning to pay attention to your dreams, perhaps by keeping a dream journal and reflecting on their themes, is like learning to listen to your own soul. It's as a way to receive whispered clues and hidden maps that can guide you toward greater self-awareness and, ultimately, greater freedom. This brings us to the heart of the matter. What is true freedom? Our culture often defines freedom as the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want. But Jung would argue that this is a childish and often destructive idea. Why? Because the I that wants is often not your true self. It's a self driven by unhealed wounds, social programming, and unconscious compulsions. Acting on every impulse isn't freedom. It's being a slave to your own unexamined desires. For Jung, true freedom is not about doing whatever you want, but about achieving wholeness. Wholeness is the process of bravely confronting and integrating all the different parts of yourself, the light and the shadow, the conscious and the unconscious, the masculine and the feminine. It's about accepting your flaws, understanding your hidden motivations, and uniting the fragmented pieces of your psyche into a cohesive whole. This is the goal of what Jung called individuation. It's a lifelong journey of becoming the individual you were always meant to be, not the person your parents, your friends, or your society expected you to be. It is the most challenging, but also the most rewarding, adventure a person can undertake. So, how do we translate this into practical action? It begins with self-observation without judgment. Start to notice the roles you play in your daily life. Are you the peacemaker, always avoiding conflict at your own expense? Are you the perfectionist, driven by a fear of failure? These are the archetypal scripts we talked about. By identifying the invisible roles you're playing, you can begin to question them. Ask yourself, is this role serving me, or am I serving it? When you make these unconscious scripts conscious, something magical happens. You are no longer just an actor reading lines. You become the scriptwriter and the director of your own life. You can choose to step out of a role that no longer fits. You can decide to rewrite a scene. Instead of being a puppet of these ancient scenarios, you gain the power to consciously choose how you want to act and who you want to be in any given situation. This is the essence of taking back your power. It's moving from being a passive object of fate to becoming an active, conscious creator of your own reality. True freedom is this conscious authorship of your own life story. The journey to true freedom, as mapped out by Jung, is not an easy one. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to look at the parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore. It's about understanding that the chains holding us back are not always external. Most often, they are forged within our own minds. We are bound by personal histories we haven't processed, social illusions we've bought into, and ancient human patterns we've never questioned. But the key to unlocking these chains also lies within. By making the unconscious conscious, by integrating our shadow, by listening to our dreams, and by becoming the authors of our own scripts, we can move from a state of being puppets on a string to becoming whole integrated individuals. This is the ultimate freedom. Not the freedom to have everything, but the freedom to be fully and unapologetically yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the mind and its mysteries. I hope this gives you some food for thought on your own journey. If you found this valuable, please give this video a like and subscribe for more explorations into psychology and philosophy. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Take care and be well.